2, and we've finished off with this beautiful dome. It's very impressive, isn't it? This church was damaged by enemy action during the War of 1939 to 45. Restored between 44 and 57. It was re-hallowed on June the 5th, 1957 by the Bishop of London, H.C. Montgomery Campbell, in the presence of the Lord Mayor, Sir Callum Welch. There are some more tombstones, look. There's this one, which is a coat of arms. BE. EE. So, if you go to the College of Arms with that, you'd probably be able to match it up with a name, possibly, or a family at least, anyway. John Aylworth, citizen mercer of London. Died the 12th of November, Anno Domini 1693, aged 32 years. Thomas Allen, citizen and draper of London. Died the 27th of July, Anno Domini 1699, aged 45 years. I wonder if they were related or not. Here lies the body of Mr. Peter Purchard Jr., who died greatly regretted the something of February 1775, aged 44 years and 6 months. Also the body of his disconsolate mother, who died February the 6th, 1779, aged 69 years. Also the body of Mr. John Purcher, son of the said Mrs. Rachel Purchard, who died equally lamented the 30th of July 1783, aged 48 years. Happy mother whose sons rose up and called her blessed. Complete in happiness shall she rise with them in glory. Say, behold the Lord and the children whom thou hast given me. There's another one there, but it's quite badly cracked. It's a surname. As the gentleman just kindly pointed out to me, something he's noticed is that these are the wrong way round. Usually in the London churches, the feet would face the high altar. And he said the only thing he can put it down to is when this church was restored after the war, that was done by mistake. And that's interesting. Sorry. That one's a bit too far gone for me to make out, I'm afraid. Mrs. Mary Staples. daughter of the said John and Susanna, who died the 11th day of May. There's no year, I'm afraid.
Here in the vestry.
One of the church watchers just pointed out the monuments. This picture is 1896, and they're not there, so they've been moved over time. So that's an interesting little curio with the church. So you can see the difference now between 1896 and now, because you had a tiled floor there, like a mosaic tiled floor, and the monuments weren't there, so that's really interesting. I love that kind of thing. We've got a couple of monuments here. The entrance into the vault belonging to Mr. Westbrook's family. Resurgimus. Well, that's interesting. So if you lifted that up, you would find the vault of Mr. Westerbrook's family. Mrs. Martha Perchard, another Perchard, died 13th of April 1787 in her 43rd year. Peter Perchard, Esquire, Alderman, and late Lord Mayor of this city, died 21st of January 1806, aged 76 years, and of 4 of their children. Cecil King, put a flash on for that. No. Cecil Keith Foyle Wright. FRCO ARCM, organist of this church, second lieutenant for the Battalion Royal Fusiliers. Born July the 15th, 1890, killed in action at Ablanzaville in France, August the 21st, 1918. God gave men skill that he might be honoured in his marvellous works. Ecclesiastes XXXV1116. And that's the stairs that would take you up into the organ loft. Here we are. I hope you've all enjoyed, and you'll see some historical images now. We're not quite done yet. This is the belfry. We can't get into the bell tower. Even the church watchers can't go up there because the stairs are dodgy. That's the entrance into the bell tower. But when the new underground station was being built next door, men regularly had to go up there from surveying companies to check that the church hadn't moved at all. So yeah, that's where the bells will drop down from, and if and when they do ring the bells. But as I say, we're not quite done with our tour yet. For the first time ever, we'll get a 3D scan of what we're going to see in a minute. Down here, through there, is the entrance into the crypt. Now, only people who work for or are associated with the church can go down there because of insurance reasons, so I couldn't go down there. Now, this crypt is unusual because rather than it being underneath this church, it's not. It goes outside underneath Abchurch yard, which is the bit we saw at the part 1 when we first came in Abchurch yard. And they're not sure if when the old church was burned, if the original church was on that footprint rather than where it is now, or whether the crypt just always came outside of the church. But anyway, thank you to one of the church members who kindly took the phone down here for me. And that's what you're going to see a little snippet of now. And then after that, for the first time on the page, you'll get a 3D scan of this entire church, which takes us and even people who work here into places that we can't go and can't see. Same as the charnel house where all the bones are kept. That's all bricked up, even they can't get into that bit. And the bell tower is very limited because of its age and the narrowness of the steps and the health and safety. So join me now for the crypt here. Thank you, well, massive thank you to church member for taking us down there. And then after that you'll get the 3D scan, and then after that you'll get some historical images of the church. Alright, off we go.
This is a phone of some fellow upstairs who wants to come down. I told him he couldn't for insurance.
Okay. They can look on the website. There's a 3D scan which goes through and shows it everywhere. Yeah, so I'll show that as well. You can still look from the floor outside. There's still ventilation.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Yeah.
So where's the one in the church?
So the line of the church is this. This is the wall of the church. Yeah. So we're underneath. Yeah. And then if you want to see,
There you go.
Appreciate that. Thank
No
you.
worries.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Only
Appreciate it.
there's a 3D scan on the website.
Oh right, I'll have a look for that as well. Also down in the crypt, on a blocked up wall, behind which we're going to see in a minute, is this stone. Underneath this stone lieth the body of John Henshaw, the eldest son of Mr. Benjamin Henshaw of this parish, who departed this life ye 18th day of February 1708 in ye 9th year of his age. So that's another little relic of the past that's down there. And once again, massive thanks to the church member for taking us down there, because we wouldn't have got to see this otherwise. But as the lady that was down there said, she's one of the architects, you can see a 3D scan of this, not only of the crypt and the church itself, but also behind this bricked up wall where no human eyes can see without taking the wall down. And that shows you, I've spoken about charneling before, when they would make room for new graves by taking up old ones. This church never had a churchyard of its own. All the people were buried inside the church or in this crypt, and when they needed more room they'd move the old ones into this charnel house, and that's part of what you're going to see now. So for the first time on this page you're going to get a 3D scan of this entire church, from crypt right at the very bottom out in the street under Abchurch yard, right up to the very top of the bell tower. So hope you're all going to enjoy. I hope you all found that as interesting as I did, and enjoyed the church tour as well with that amazing dome. The dome was painted some 20 or 30 years after the church actually went up, so it's a bit later than Wren's build. This is Abchurch Yard, and where the blue arrow is pointing, which is obviously in the exterior of the church, that underneath here is where that crypt is, and the little circle thing in the middle, which is part of the pavement, that's as far as it goes out there, which is very, very interesting. The church watchers are very experienced with their history, because there are no images of the pre-Great Fire of London Church. Geoffrey, one of the watchers, was saying to me, he doesn't know, or they don't know, whether the pre-fire church actually sat on top of the footprint of the old crypt, or whether it was where it is now, where you see it here, and the crypt has just always been on the exterior of the church. They don't know that. More scanning and things will be done, because they believe that there are more parts to the crypt as well, so very interesting. And now for our historical look back with some old images of the church. And here you see Christopher Wren's St Mary Abchurch as he intended it, not swamped by all other buildings around it. And this aspect of the church dates from around the time when it would have been newly up, so very late 17th, early 18th century. And it's the southeast prospect of the parish church of St Mary Abchurch in Abchurch Lane. This later woodcut image, which I really love, it shows St Mary Abchurch, and with the other little buildings around it, as I've said in some of my other videos a while ago, that you could once tell your way around London by all its church spires, because they were the tallest things. Now you're hard bent to spot some of them. And these little brick buildings that surround the church are the ones that went up after the Great Fire of London, when the King decreed that the buildings must be built from brick or stone to try and prevent another fire. You know, this is St Mary Abchurch, Abchurch Lane. And here you see it in 1815, St Mary Abchurch, City of London. And it's still got its little old brick buildings around it. Most of that would be swept away by the First and Second World Wars and slum clearances. Luckily the church still remains. I like this. 25 Christopher Wren churches in the city in London, or as the description says, a parallel are some of the principal towers and steeples built by Sir Christopher Wren, published in 1855. And if you go along the list, ours is number 7. So if you go along, number 7, and bless it, it's swamped by or hidden partially by number 6. But yeah, these shows all the spires of the Wren churches as they appeared in 1855. I liked this. Of course, St Paul's in the centre, and they do say that before St Paul's really went up the dome, he practised on some of these lesser churches with domes. He practised with domes. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But this is an image from the Victorian era. And if you look down at the floor, you'll notice the mosaic type paving. There are no memorial stones there, which there are now. And the memorial stones which are there now are facing the wrong way round. Now Geoffrey, one of the church watchers, very kindly told me that there's a precedent for doing that when the bones have been taken up from the vaults and the stones are still left as memorials. They sometimes turn them round to signify that the vaults are empty, so that could well be the case. And this is 1880s, 1890s, and shows the interior of the church, the reredos. It did get damage in the war, as we'll see in a little while. This is another Victorian image, and you can see with its original stained glass, that was all blown out in the war, unfortunately. And I was very kindly allowed into the vestry to take a picture of this picture, and it was Geoffrey that pointed it out to me He said, look at the floor. There are no memorial stones there, so that's interesting. St Mary Abchurch, circa 1910, and the circular paving that is outside, which looks quite modern, you can see the very same design of it, so whether it's been redone or it's just been pressure washed and cleaned like the church was, I don't know. But it's nice to see that little bit of continuity. Wartime, Cannon Street and the Blitz. Cannon Street, one of London's oldest and most historic streets in London. It runs from St Paul's Cathedral to London Bridge, passing through the heart of the City of London. The street has witnessed many events that shaped the history of London and Britain, especially during the 1940s when World War II raged on. And the church itself wasn't breached as such. The walls weren't taken down and tumbled like some of them were. But look at the dome here. This is a picture that shows bomb damage and blast damage to the dome. And it's blown all the plaster out. If you look closely, you can see the lath underneath, which has been the lath and plaster, where it was so badly damaged. And you've got to admit that they've done an absolutely amazing job of restoring it. They really have. This image, I like this. This is a little drawing. And this is wartime as well. And it shows the scaffolding going up to repair the damage that had been done to the roof. Windows were blown out and they were quickly glazed again, and then once the war were over, new stained glass ones replaced what they wanted to replace. Some of them were left plain. And this is that dome, taken from a different aspect today, because the church was filmed in two halves. You had the interior scenes and exterior filmed a little while ago, and I was back in the area today and something made me go into the church, and I don't know what or why. It was just a fluke. I went into the church, took some pictures, and the architects and surveyors rather that's to do with the church and the new station opposite Bank, the new station that's right next to the church, they were opening up the vault to have to go down there and have a look. So it was really by chance that we got to see down there. Otherwise we would never have been allowed down there. As with so many London churches and vaults and crypts, they're all emptied out more or less. So it's the architectural element of them that I like. But because of the insurance and the health and safety aspect, which you have to understand, they won't let you down there. I mean, if I go down there and fall and really badly hurt myself, they're not going to want to be responsible for that. I wouldn't sue them, but they don't know that, do they? Yeah, that's what I wanted to end us off with, this absolutely beautiful dome, which you must admit, after the wartime damage of this, they've done an absolutely splendid job on restoring it, haven't they? A real beautiful thing to come and see this is. If ever you're in London, go to Cannon Street Station, and the church is dwarfed by the buildings around it, but you'll find it. Go in there and just look up at this dome. Another picture taken from the opposite side. You get right into the corners of the church, you can catch the whole dome. Go into the corner near the vestry. It's one of the best areas, and as Jeffrey said to me, stand right in front of the communion table and you'll get some really good pictures, and that's where this one was taken from. And so, ladies and gents, I hope you've all enjoyed St Mary Abchurch. Thanks for coming along with the journey, and a massive thanks once again to the church helper for actually taking the phone down there for us, because we wouldn't have got to see that otherwise. And thank you to the architect lady for letting us know about the 3D scan. That was very interesting, and there are others of other London churches, so they'll feature in future visits yet to come. Hope you've all enjoyed. Thanks very much for watching.